I am here today to do my October wrap up, which is basically a book haul. I read basically nothing in the month of October. Actually, now that I'm holding this, I'm wondering, I didn't I usually do like a page count kind of thing where I keep track of how much I read each day. Yeah, so I read a bit at the very beginning of the month and a little bit at the end, but I did not read very much in the month of October. I finished one book. And let me just preface this by saying that I usually do a wrap up and I do my movies and my books in the same video, but I'm going to do a separate movie video because I had the intention and goal of reading or watching 31 movies in the month of October. I fell shy of that by a little bit, but just by a little bit. So if I talk about all like 28 or baby, oh God, she's just straight up inside the tree. Baby. Anyways, this video will be obscenely long, although I don't really have a lot to say because most of these books I have not read. So I'm just going to do a quick little wrap up of the one singular book that I read the last weekend in the month of October. So all the other reading that I did in the month of October, I did not finish in October or like anything like that. She's so cute. So I just read one book and it was for my book club. And I read it the last weekend of the month, just in time for book club. And that was Homegoing by Gyasi. Gyasi. I'm not 100% sure on that. But oh my, I absolutely loved this book. I thought it was so good. I'm kind of confused, to be honest with you. I was a little hesitant to pick this up because this had the classic thing happen where a book becomes really, really popular and everyone loves it and everyone's talking about it. And then all of a sudden, all the reviews start to turn kind of negative and people have poor things to say. And I think the main thing that I heard that was negative about this book was that we don't spend enough time with each character and that it's like very small bits and we don't really have enough time to, get to know the people and it's just too fast. And I 100% disagree. This is the kind of book that I like to read though. My brain I think is a little bit programmed toward this. I read multiple books at a time. I really like short story collections, anthologies. I appreciate being told a good amount of stuff in a small space. So I absolutely loved this. In case you're living under a rock and have no idea what this book is about, we're following two sisters from the same man, but actually I don't remember if it's the same man or the same woman. I don't remember if they're sisters from their maternal or parental, because they are half sisters. But they get kind of separated. They're from Africa. I wish I could tell you exactly which country right now. That's super awkward. Ghana. That's what I thought, but I didn't want to say it and not be right. So it's Effia and Essie. They're born into two different villages. I don't know. It doesn't say, but one of the sisters basically marries a British soldier and the other one gets sold into slavery. So you're following the descendants of both of these lines, and it goes back and forth between each line in chronological order. That makes sense, right? So we go back and forth between, let's say Essie or Effia and Essie, and then back and forth between their lines as they kind of move through time. And then we end up in present day. And I just thought it was absolutely fantastic. I wish I could remember what our discussion was like in the book club. I know that I hadn't finished it. And I do think the end is a bit too cutesy because it brings it all back real nice and neat with a little bow, which I'm not a huge fan of. I like things to be a little bit grittier and dirty kind of. So it was a little bit too clean and polished in my opinion. But I thought, again, the struggles that each specific person has, it's just perfect. I don't really know how else to describe it other than I felt for every single, I felt is what I was saying, not felt for every single character in this book. And I just I don't know, it's just so, I think, incredible what Yaa Gyasi has done in this book. And I think it's just a really important read, and I would highly suggest it. It's obviously, there's some really, really horrible stuff. I'm trying to remember, I don't know if there's a list at the beginning. Oh, and my copy is signed. I got this, this is my indispensable book at some point, I guess in 2016. I forget, there's the one, I can't really talk about it. There are a lot of really, really, really important stories, and I feel like there's not like one specific lineage or anything that I like feel for the most, because every single person has their hardships, but there's one specific narrative in like the lineage that comes to the United States, it happens kind of during I can't remember what it's called, but when the law that was passed in order to capture runaway slaves, like that specific part of the book, like honestly, just like really crushed me. The whole book was super good though. I would recommend. I don't remember how many stars I gave this. I'm gonna assume 4.5 sounds right. Oh, I guess I have my bullet journal right here. I'm sorry. I also have had like a glass of wine, maybe two. Which is why I'm crying so ridiculously. I don't even remember when I finished this. This is so embarrassing. I should be able to. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4.5 stars. That makes sense. I loved that, and I'm really excited. I do want to read her new book, Transcendent Kingdom, I think is what it's called. But I'm gonna wait for that to come out in paperback, because like I don't need to be buying any books. Let's all be honest, especially after I show you all the crap that I have to show you right now. So let's start off with the 2 books that I bought for book club that I did not read. These are not for, so I have like my Portland book club and then the online group that Yamini started. So there's two books that I purchased and did not read. The first is I'm Afraid of Men by Vivek Shraya, and Tegan and Sarah are blurbed on the front. I guess blurbs do work. Sometimes I hate them, but I'll take a Tegan and Sarah blurb. I don't think this is translated. But yeah, I don't really know what this is, but it looks like a little short kind of essay, I think is what it is. I should have read that because it's super tiny. I have no excuse. And then Breasts and Eggs was the pick for November. So this was the October book, and this was the November book, so I purchased both in October. And this is by Mieko Kawakami. Again, see, this is blurred by Haruki Murakami, and I'm just like, okay, don't care. And this one is translated by Sam Bett and David Boyd. And I do also really want to read this, so I'm hopeful that I will get to this in the month of January, as it is a Japanese book, and Japan is one of the countries that we're focusing on in January, but I've got such high ambitions, it's really doubtful that's going to happen. The next book that I have is from my Powell's Indispensable. I think my phone just went off, but I don't know where it is. My Powell's Indispensable subscription that I got in October, and that is A Girl is a Body of Water. And this is by Jennifer Nansubuga Makumbi, and this is the author of Kintu that I have not finished yet, embarrassingly. And this one is also signed. If y'all want some new releases that are signed, you should get on the Indispensable box. They are signed most of the time. I think like 1 or 2 have had just a book plate in them, and then you always get like extra goodies. So, and sometimes you get real good, I mean, I haven't read this yet, but really, really good picks. Sometimes they're duds. Not everything can be perfect, but that's okay. So yeah, I am really, really looking forward to reading this. And then I got a couple more subscription books. The first one here is Arrow by Sumita Chakraborty. And this one is, oh my gosh, it's also signed? I didn't realize that. This is the book that I got from Literati, and it is a poetry collection. So, it's a poetry collection with a lot of words. I don't feel like there's usually that many words in poetry collections. Oh, but then it becomes one of those. I'm not a fan of those kinds of poems, but we'll see. Don't knock it till you try it, is my opinion. And then I have Where the Wild Ladies Are by Ayoko Matsuda, and this is translated by Polly Barton, and this sounds like it could be a Japanese as well. Yeah, so she has translated things into Japanese. That's interesting. I'm confused about this person. I'm going to have to look into them because they seem like they translate from English into Japanese based on the bio in the back, but I'm not sure. And this one, wait, this one has literati in it. Oh no, I'm so confused. Did I get my books mixed up? Oop, you know what? This one is September's book, and I have it in my October pile. And this one is October's book. So I don't know what happened. Maybe I got the book late, or maybe I just wasn't paying attention. Whatever. And then I also got my issue of Poetry Magazine that I should probably start reading. So now I have a huge, huge pile of books. And all of these books are because of Yamini at Shakespeare and Spice. Just because I like to blame other people for the things that I do instead of taking responsibility. Because, you know, that's more fun. So basically, for our silent movie, one of the movies that we watched was Nosferatu, which is a retelling of Dracula, or Dracula is a retelling of it. I can't remember which came first. Either way, it's a vampire story, and then we decided that in the month of October, we should all read Dracula together, which I did not do. My copy of Dracula is toe up, as they say. I purchased it when I was in 9th grade, so in the year 2001. It is now currently 2020, and I read it during the summer. I read most of it. I read 3/4 of it during the summer before my sophomore year of high school. So maybe that was 2002, actually. Either way, it was in the early aughts. And I did not finish it, and my book is messed up because I read it at the beach, so like the cover's coming off, it's just a disaster, and so I really, really wanted to purchase the Rhodes Classics edition, and so I mentioned this in our little group chat, and then Will looked it up, and then he said these books are like hundreds of dollars, and I was like, what? That's not right, because Rhodes stopped being in business. They're no longer in business. So I just want to say, if there's a specific edition that you want from a company that is not Penguin or Random House or whatever, I know they're the same company now, but you get my drift, just buy it because you never know when it's going to go out of business. It is a beautiful cover. I will put a picture of it here. It is a woman kind of going like this, and you can see like all the musculature and everything, and it is gorgeous. It does not exist anymore unless you want to pay a lot of money. So basically, I was like, oh no, I need to look at all these Rhodes books and see which ones I want. And then I just bought basically every book that Rhodes has, but not all in Rhodes editions. I like Googled or searched for the editions that I liked the best. So basically, I'm going to show you a ton of classics, because classics are the books that are like in, you know, free domain, public domain, so anyone can basically publish them. So yeah, that's what's going to happen right now. And please don't judge me too hard. The first one that I have here is Miss Lonely Hearts and the Day of the Locust by Nathaniel West. I know nothing about this. There you go. Then I've got Orlando by Virginia Woolf. I was really into the other editions of this book that maybe I will find a picture of and post here. But these are like brand new editions that Penguin has come out with, and I think they are also stunning. So I'm going to kind of try to like get a few different versions, or like different, like get each book kind of in a different edition. I don't even know if I like Virginia Woolf though, because I haven't read any of her books, so who knows. Then I got Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. This is another book that is a limited release. This is a Harper Perennial, the Olive editions. So they come out, I think it's about 10 books every fall that they publish, and they're all, I actually, this is one of my favorite editions of books. The books are like really, really easy to hold. They are mass market. They're only $10, which is super cheap for a book, I think. And you know, each time they come out with books, it's usually around a certain theme. And so the year that these came out, it was all classics, I think. So most of them I already owned, I think, but I did not own that one, so I got that one. Then I have Madame Bovary by Gustave Flaubert, Flaubert, I don't know. Translated by Margaret Maldon. And these, I think these are also really beautiful with the paintings on them. Then A Journey to the Center of the Earth by Jules Verne. And of course, we're still not at a single one of Rhodes Classics editions. This is translated by Robert Baldick, and this is one of the Puffin Classics. And I think these are also really, I like a book that you can hold easily in your hand. My wrist hurts a lot these days because of phone usage. Unfortunately, I'm one of those people. Then actually, this is not one of those books. This is my, I'll do this one at the end. Then I have the 39 Steps by John Butchin. that can't be right. Right. And these are also hit or miss. I feel like sometimes these are super stiff, but this is really nice and bendy, which I like. Then I have A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man by James Joyce, another beautiful one of these modern classics. You know, I like to support an indie press, but I'll be honest, a lot of like these kinds of books that Penguin puts out are just so beautiful. I can't help myself. Then finally, some Rhodes classics. This one is The Devil's Dictionary by Ambrose Bierce, and you know, it's fine. I enjoy the cover, and I think that this is actually going to be a really, really funny read, so I should read this. And a lot of these books I had to buy secondhand at various bookstores because, again, the company has gone out of business. Their website does not exist anymore. Then I have What Maisie Knew by James Joyce. Nope. Blame the Wine by Henry James. This, again, you know, I feel like I own one of these books previously, but I can't remember what it was. Then I have Five Children and It by E. Nesbit. And I think this is the first book in a series. Oh, and there's some cute little illustrations. I don't know if this is going to be my jam, but gotta try it, right? I guess you don't have to, but I'm choosing to. Then I have The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. It's really hard to find a pretty copy of this book. All of them are really, I just don't like it. Kind of like, I still haven't read Rebecca or purchased it by Daphne du Maurier because I feel like all the covers are just hideous in my opinion. I just think they're all so ugly. They're just like too gothic-y and not my jam. Anyways, then I have The Good Soldier by Ford Madox Ford, another one of these Oxford World Classics. Then I have Walden by Henry David Thoreau. I think I own a really, really old copy of this book, and I'm going to obviously get rid of it. Then I have The Beautiful Emma by Jane Austen. You know, I don't really like Jane Austen that much, but you got to read her, right? She's one of those people that you just have to read. Then I have Treasure Island and The Ebb Tide by Robert Louis Stevenson. And this, I think, is absolutely stunning. That's a beautiful cover. Then I have The Happy Prince and Other Tales by Oscar Wilde. And this also, I think this is just so, so beautiful and so cozy. So basically all these are cover buys, let's all be honest. And then last one is Lady Chatterley's Lover by D.H. Lawrence. And I think this is the like easiest one to find. Yeah, I'm really disappointed that Dracula book is no longer in print because that is probably the only one that I really, really wanted. I think the Clockwork Orange cover is also really nice, and that is a book that I read in high school and don't own for some reason, so I would have liked to purchase that, but that's okay. Anyways, the last book is another book from a subscription service. I'm sorry I didn't mention this earlier, but it was stuck in my stack, and that is Sleepless Nights by Elizabeth Hardwick, and this one is a Finney book. So I will link the services that I'm subscribed to down below. So again, it's Finney by Post, the Literati subscription service from the Literati bookstore in Ann Arbor, and then Powell's Indispensable. I'll link the three of those down below. I think they're really nice. I prefer Finney and Literati. I feel like the Indispensable one, they mostly just pick like the big, you know, bigger books. So I feel like they've had, I'm trying to think of books. So, you know, Homegoing, The Nickel Boys, that I've read. They did City on Fire. I don't know. The books are a little bit more commercial, I think, in the Indispensable box. And then the books that come in Literati and Finney are always a little bit more unique and different and things that I haven't necessarily heard of before and would be more drawn to personally. So again, yeah, I'll link those all below. If you've read any of these books, let me know. Again, it's a huge stack of classics. I don't even know. They're probably all old white men except for a few of them. I know. Yeah. You know. I did it. I got it over with, and now we can move on to the future. But yeah, I hope everyone's having a great day. And again, I'll post my, I'm not even going to show you my bullet journal right now. It's just, it wasn't that exciting in the month of October. But yeah, I will post a review of the movies that I watched shortly. And I will talk to you guys later. And I'm sorry that I am a little bit tipsy.